Going to talk about craftsmanship. We're going to start off with Sir Nico. First of all, tell us all about, say, the main values of Ibarra Watches, because I want to see how this actually ties in with you. But Sir Ian?
I just wanted to say something, just introduce Nico to the crowd. So I only met Nico 1 month ago.
Yeah.
Right? And, he's a cool guy. But actually, one of the interesting things that I learned is that, and I was telling Nico earlier, is that I was never as interested on a watch until I spoke to Nico. So this guy's a true nerd and proud of it, right? And he's very, very passionate. He's also a physicist and a scientist.
Yeah.
So really cool guy. But when I look at it, physicist, scientist, entrepreneur, I'm all in the business world. But at the end of it, just like a lot of us, right? We all value something that's premium. We value craftsmanship, and I think that's when we look at it, it's something that's very close to Nico's heart and very close to us as HP. Really coming up with the best products, the best premium products for our customers. So you're asking Nico something?
Yes, I was just wondering because I wanted to see how HP would invite the founder of Ibarra Watches right here. Tell us a little bit more about what it is that you've come up with Ibarra Watches, the main values, and how craftsmanship ties in with what it is you believe in.
Alright, so basically when I started Ibarra, I wanted it to be like a mirror of my own personal values and my personality. I am a nationalist. I love Filipino. And in a way, I believe so much in the capabilities of the Filipino as well, engineering, craftsmanship and stuff like that. I'm also an enthusiast of history and heritage. That's the reason why when we create products, our models kind of like tell a story that also intertwines with a little bit of heritage and history. No? So going to the values, we focus more on dress watches. So we focus more on what's timeless and universally appealing. These are just two simple words, but when you break them down further and how we craft these products, we can actually intertwine the values of the new laptops, would be connected into how we make things. So, firstly, of course, as a timeless piece, we want to focus on something that's not too heavy on the eyes. It doesn't necessarily have to be the weight of the product, It may be in the design, It doesn't have so much there. It's simple and it's elegant. I guess that is where lightness come into play. So when I next talk about flexibility, I talk about universally appealing. So it can appeal to any person of different cultures, of various cultures, different age groups. It can appeal to your grandfather, your son, your daughter, maybe your wife. It can be worn by anyone. And I guess that's one of the things that we value as well when we do R&D. We want to make sure that we select the right suppliers for us because I also value quality and all. Moving to the next particular value, I mentioned lightness and flexibility. Now I'm going to be going to connectivity. When we create products, we want to make sure that the designs connect to our clients, to our customers, because like OFWs, like the Filipinos, when they have an Ibarra watch, sometimes they kind of tell us it kind of feels like home every time they look at the watch. It's not like something very ethnic or very very old Filipino, something that's universally appealing that we can also play a game, play the same game as other competitors do. So for us, we have to connect, build that story, build that relationship with them. So we're mobile. We have to be very mobile in creating the products. I mentioned we source the right suppliers for this. Eventually, hopefully, we can do everything here. That's the dream. Maybe in the next 10 years, we have a research partnership with the university right now. That's how mobile we are in terms of how we develop the product. And of course, security. When you talk about for the product, you have to have the proper trademarks, the IPs, all the number crunching that you do behind the scenes, because when a customer has that watch, we make sure that the things that come inside the watch is protected as well. Yeah.
So when Nico was sharing that, it really resonates with HP. Right? When you talk about lightness, and especially the fantastic table of designers, right? Lightness is just not about the weight is. When you look at it, it's got to look very nice, right? It looks very light to the eye. Clearly, if it's something clunky and chunky, you already have a certain aversion of it, especially if you want something that's light. I think the flexibility and connectivity, it's also, especially what we see in the new styles of work, in the new work of the future, everybody's getting much more mobile. And I was talking about with Nico earlier in one of our chats, is that in this day and age, everybody wants to be as productive as possible. Like you want to bring your kids to school, and then maybe while waiting for them, go to a coffee shop and work, or in between meetings, instead of having to go back to the office. I have the same event in the evening. I can work here, I can work in coffee shop behind. So it really is about being able to be mobile and to be connected and be collaborative. And one of the things also we noticed is that as people become more mobile, people want to be more productive anywhere they want, but that also represents a key security risk, right? Nico talked about security of IP, right? And you look at it, right, and a lot of us actually have this tendency of, right, opening up our laptops anywhere you are. But one of the things we don't realize is that in the era of this dramatic hacking now the last year versus the last 5 years or the last 10 years, but one of the most common forms of hacking is visual hacking. Right? And in my reflection, I do travel a lot. Even in the airplane, I see people from other companies open their laptops, send email about the deal that we're working on. It's an IT company which has a deal with one of the media companies. I did see the deal analyzer, and it's something that's really people take for granted with mobility. There's a risk of security, and to us, it's also important that, and Kathy and even Martin mentioned, is that we actually have what we call the sure view, right? It prevents visual hacking for people right beside you. And we're all used to a relatively clunky privacy screen that you tape, right? But what we have is an integrated privacy screen. I think one of the key features as well is it's actually the little details that matter, especially in style and craftsmanship. Other details about security is we can say that the Elite Dragonfly is one of the world's most secure notebooks. Everybody can claim that. But when we design our notebooks, especially the Dragonfly, we design it down to a golden chip that we put inside. So it is beyond bias level. So other brands will probably have security levels, but again, these are all software based. So I think at the end of it, there are a lot of similarities between a very nice premium watch and a very nice premium notebook. And again, at the end of it, a notebook is a personal device, something you like to carry around, something that you're proud to show off, and it goes back to craftsmanship. Yes.
And obviously, from what we've already presented here, these notebooks are definitely ones you'll be proud to carry. From your story in that airplane and seeing that the deals that guy was making, it's quite obvious that gentleman was not using an HP notebook, right? But in presenting these two new notebooks to the public today, what were the key things that you consider in terms of developing these two new notebooks, since you're very particular about innovation and it being a tool for the needs of the generation nowadays?
I think for us, right, especially at HP, we put the customers first, right? We get customer data insights, we look at trends, we look at mega trends, we see how the future of work is going. And one of our own philosophies as well is that we've seen what we call one life, right? Again, the old adage is there's a work-life balance. You go to office 9 to 6, and then by the time you're 6 p.m. you go home, you shut off everything. But it's one life, right? We seamlessly integrate our work in our personal life, right? You go to a coffee shop, you do your work, you send your email, maybe after 30 minutes you watch your favorite TV series streaming, and then go back to work, right? So it's really one life. And based on those insights, we design our notebooks. So Martin and Kathy were sharing that we've designed this with the consumer in mind, right? Based on how it looks, the design, the power, the portability, and the security.
Okay, you've talked about seamlessness a lot more. That's appealing to a lot of us, even though we've never really narrowed in on the exact word to describe what it is we desire. But particularly for the HP products, what is it that has been incorporated in terms of, say, the technology that really thinks about seamlessness?
Well, for us, we seamlessly integrate security. We call it the Sure View, which is the integrated privacy screen. We have Sure Start, which is the bias level golden chip that makes it secure. So these are the little details that we seamlessly incorporate into our product. So again, it goes back to visually, when you see a product, you know it's very nice. It has great style and craftsmanship down to the detail level. It's like looking at a fantastic Ibarra watch, right, from afar, right? That's what premium is, right? It takes months, right? It takes months to design, to create, and to craft. And it's those little details which are seamlessly integrated.
I can just imagine, having innovation like this in your arsenal, how it can help you out with work. Nico, how can imagine that you had something like this right at your fingertips? How can that help in terms of your work with Ibarra Watches?
Well, a lot, no? In Ibarra, we design the watches, the parts like the gaskets, the movement holders, that would adjust the clearances that you need for the cases when you make the cases, design the cases, no? So when you run programs as well, if you have a powerful device that's also mobile, you can bring anywhere. It's easy for you to actually do work anywhere and do those high capacity tasks, and quicker. For me, those are one of the most important things that it can actually bring to me, So I mean, with laptops like the Elite Dragonfly and the Spectre X360, it's definitely a very good companion, so to say. In other words, you can actually do more while spending less time. It's easy. It's quick charging. You can just you can just finish your coffee, then go back to work again after charging a bit. It's more about having that mentality of productivity.
Yeah.
That you don't have those barriers anymore because you have this with you.
Yeah. I think productivity is key. People are more mobile. You want to be able to squeeze as much work out of every possible minute.
Yeah.
Because you gotta split your time between obviously what you want to do, your passion, your work, right, and obviously your family time. So you want to be as productive as possible. And Martin was sharing that the Spectre X360 had a staggering 22 hours of battery life. So that really will you won't have any impediment to being productive anywhere you are.
Yeah, and also the security thing, I can also very much relate to Ian. I mean, I would always fly in, fly out a lot, and I would usually work in the plane. And usually I would get very conscious of the people around me if they can see what I'm doing. So I usually put down the brightness so much, just to make sure that only me can see it. Only I can see it. Yeah.
And you angle yourself in a certain way just to make sure that you're blocking the view.
Exactly. That's what I do.
But I guess with the HP latest innovations, you are not even going to have to do that. Okay. We're talking about One Life. We're talking about the working professionals. What have you noticed, and this is a question for both of you, what have you noticed with the up-and-coming professionals in terms of how they live their life, how they do work, aside from, they want seamlessness and productivity? What else have you noticed, and how are you incorporating that into your businesses?
Well, for us, basically, it's R&D. Especially our market, they're smarter now. They demand more. So therefore, you have to really focus on quality and excellence in everything that you offer the market. No? So as brands, we have to be able to have that culture of continuous excellence and continuous learning, so that we can continue to deliver on what the customers want and what the clients want. No? Right now with the pace of how everything goes right now, how everyone is hindered or prevented to be productive, but with the current traffic or what have you, you have to really know the customer that well and adjust to them. And for us as brands, as companies, understanding that and being able to relate to them, we can deliver more to them.
I think when I look at it, then I mean, again, people now are even more demanding. You got to squeeze as much productivity as possible. I think one of the other interesting insights as well is, according to IDC, I think 2020, 50% of the workforce will be millennials, right? And their work styles are very, very different from wherever older folk are here, right? They are even more mobile than we think we are, right? They want to be able to pursue their passions. Like some of them would probably want to do a trip somewhere, take a break, take maybe quick retreat, and maybe in between want to be able to work and then shut off and then go back to their passion. So I think that's right. I mean, the workforce is changing, work styles, workplace, work cultures, and these are evolving. And we want to make sure that as HP, we're able to provide that productivity to help the people unleash their passion and increase their productivity.
So HP is right there to support the future of work. All right, Ian has described it perfectly. How does this translate, though, to Ibarra Watches and in terms of how you employ people, how they work, the future of work?
Oh yeah, actually right now, how we do things at our company, we actually work outside the office, no? Because we have some employees who live in the south. We're based in the north, no? So to allow productivity at its maximum, we just meet online or we do phone calls, and then I let them do their work outside and just deliver outputs to me. So if you can deliver an output, the right output to me in 8 hours, I mean in 3 hours, but usually for 8 hours, no, that's okay as long as you deliver it to me properly. So I mean, I guess that's the culture also again that we're foreseeing in the future. No, people want to be more productive, so they don't want to keep on going back and forth to the office. They just want to work. So with technology such as this, no, it's like you're giving them the freedom to do more work.
Yeah. So in HP, right? We're a very partner and customer-centric company, and I want the sales teams to be able to visit partners and customers as much as possible in a day. So sometimes, again with the traffic as an impediment, with productivity and mobility, teams can actually just work, in their client's place while waiting for the next meeting. So again, it is about productivity and mobility.
I like how you said that HP is definitely corporate and customer centric. Okay, now we've seen how the situation is in terms of your offices, but now how does that translate to your customers? What is the effect of, say, how you've put in the future of work at your workplace? How does that benefit the customers?
Well, it's more like, I guess, a feedback system, or you get to close more sales. If you're able to deliver work faster, to do more, you can reach greater heights. You can go higher. No? So I mean, it can result to something very positive to the business. At the same time, you get customer satisfaction because they get what they want or need faster. At the same time, you're able to maybe deliver targets quicker. Yeah.
What about for you, Sir Ian?
When I think about it, especially from our customers, when we talk to customers, what customers actually want is also, aside from productivity, mobility, and security, is really a brand that they trust, a brand that represents quality, a brand that commits that it will help you with your productivity, it will help you with growing your business. And I think obviously with Ibarra being a great brand as well, right, you're able to develop the trust and relationship with your customers.
Okay, some final words from both of you gentlemen, whether it's about the future of work, One Life, or about the craftsmanship of the products that you hand out to the customers.
Well, for me, as a final word, no, it's more about what you know and what you don't know, and how, knowing what you need to know the things that you don't know. So knowing your customer, knowing your current situation, and how you predict what's going to happen in the future, that's how you can innovate. And usually for companies that innovate, at the end of the day, they're the ones who really succeed and reach farther distances. No? So for me, for designers, for everyone here, for striving entrepreneurs like myself, it's about really it's really in the power of knowing and understanding what you know.
I think taking off from what Nico said, I think that was right. Our brand philosophy is keep reinventing. So innovation is very important for us. And if you look at our history, we've had a long 8-year history of innovation. We come up with many firsts. And when we look at HP's future, we are driving a lot of technology and innovation in our PCs and our products and our services. And just like what Nico mentioned, it is the company that innovates that actually gets to the next decade, next century. And I think ultimately all these innovation are customer-based insights, and it helps us address all our customers' needs.
I like that. It definitely ties in why we have these two gentlemen on stage, because one is talking about how you need to know what it is you still don't know. And here we have a company that's constantly working on the things that they don't know yet, but you know what? They will definitely take time out and productivity to know what it is that they can change, what it is that they can reinvent to provide the customers. So they will realize this is exactly what I need even before they needed it. You have already provided it for them. Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause.